What the not again. Okay, let's do it then. Hello there, fellow humans, and welcome to this video. And as you saw in my very emotional and happy intro, the lockboxes are back, unfortunately. So, what do we have here? The lockboxes include a T-22 medium, or pods for KN-81, SU-130, or Rudy. That's how it goes. Now, it goes as always, you play battles, you get the lockboxes, which does exploit a system of you already have it, so you might as well open it. It's again, marketing tricks, as always. So, I'm not going to go into these lockbox keys, obviously, because they're dumb, and they're absolutely a waste of money. Sure, they are less pricey than crates for most of the time. However, that's the point. They cost less, but they also bring you less in terms of value. Because, sure, you have a chance at a KN-81, SU-130, or a Rudy, but the chance is absolutely tiny, and same with the T-22. The chance is about 5%, and that is where the problem comes in. You know, with the lockboxes and also the crates, you know, because in this video I'm not going to talk about whether the lockboxes are worth it or not, because they are not. But instead, let's talk a bit about the tank, and let's talk about why the lockboxes are not worth it. Quite simple. Why they're not worth it. Because even if you may get the tank for like 10 euro or something like that, someone else then has to pay up the total sum, because if the drop chance 5%, that is 1 in 20. And if 20 keys cost, let's say, 300 euro, hypothetically, then that's what one tank costs, and that's what everyone has to pay for, which is dumb. So even if you yourself get a tank, you basically doom someone else to pay up the rest for you, which isn't really cool. So there's that. Don't gamble, because gambling is always bad. And speaking of bad, MX-30B, no, the T-22 medium. It is certainly a very, very strong tank. It is obviously massively better than the Object 907, or also the Object 140, and also that 30B being a bit mad, right there. But I guess with him playing one of the worst T-10s in the game, well, almost the worst T-10 in the game, it might be understandable that he is getting quite frustrated. And the thing is about this tank, it can do pretty much everything except gun depression. That's the only thing this thing really lacks. Gun depression, alpha damage. That is what is missing from this thing to make it essentially the perfect tank. You know, that means a main battle tank. So, how do you play this thing? Obviously, with a lack of alpha damage, you gotta play it either very brawly or very careful. Either you go in and you know you're going to win the fight, or you just can't go in because, you know, if you get out traded, that's not ideal. And also, if that happens, then that 30B is going to be very unhappy. Okay, now, as I said, you know, go brawl. He's a bit unhappy, gotta say. As you can see right here, I can win this fight. I can use the armor of the tank to my advantage. You know, obviously it's a Russian tank, so it's quite fast, so you don't have that problem at all. And he's gonna straight up give up. There we go. We lost a bit of HP there, but that's how we do it. And yeah, now there is an E4, which shouldn't be too much of my concern. Not that guy just got blown up. And here's the E4 now. He doesn't have a turret, which means I can pretty much take one shot and then track him. The mouse blind still ain't setting up. And now just do this and circle around him. And obviously, the armor of this tank is a bit overhyped because you can pen the front quite easily. But it is not as good as people claim that it is, right? But it is, nonetheless, a very, very strong tank. The side armor is insane. The front armor is not that great. And the turret's wonderful as well, obviously. And the problem is you can't really use the turret too much because of the lack of gun depression. So there's that. It's overall a very, very good tank. It is in the shop for 20,000 gold. It was, at least. So, you know, if you missed it out then, if you didn't get it, too bad. Why would you gamble for it now? There is absolutely no point in doing that. All you're going to do is either you're going to make someone else pay an absurd amount of money for your tank, or you're going to pay for someone else's tank an absurd amount of money, essentially. So, it's a lose-lose, and the community as a whole is getting scammed, essentially. That's how gambling works. So, let's talk about the rest of the things, a tiny bit. The SC-130PM was in the shop a couple of weeks ago, so I made a video on that. So I'm not going to really go into that here, because obviously I made an entire video about it. And I explained it there, hopefully. And yeah, you can check that out. It's somewhere on the channel. And also, you can check out the like and subscribe button. And my second channel, which also is in the description. So yeah, and Discord, obviously. Just look at all of it if you want. And if you want, you could also look at this thing, which is the K91, which I think is a very, very strong tank. 2,700 DPM as an autoloader with 350 alpha damage, you know. And also very strong armor and good mobility for a heavy tank. The only real downside of this tank is these plates are pretty much flat, so you can pen them. And then the hull is alright. It's not great. It's more troll than actual proper armor. But it is nonetheless a very, very good tank. And if it does come into the shop for below 30 euros, it is certainly worth picking up. And then the last one that is also currently available in the Lockboxes is the WoTB, which is very disappointing. Main reason for that is because in World Tanks PC, the WoTB has a special sixth sense noise. And that is the dog barking, because this is a tank from a Polish TV series. And they had a dog in that series. And basically in World Tanks PC, the dog is the sixth sense noise. That's not the case in Blitz, therefore this tank is hella disappointing. And on the other hand, I mean, it's a T-3485, up-tiered and up-gunned essentially. The penetration is still absolutely abysmal, 144, 2.6 kDPM, which is very good for a tank of this type. The armor is, quite simple, and the mobility is classic T-34, so it's there. Basically, so that's the overview for the Lockboxes. Hope you enjoyed. As always, don't buy them. I wish I wouldn't have to say this every time, but I guess I have to. Probably should have made an M3 Lite video, because that's a good deal. You know, like, you can either get an M3 Lite, you know, with 7 days of premium, a garage slot, 20 gold boosters, you can have a bit of fun, or you can get 2 lockbox keys and then cry for the rest of the day because you didn't get anything. Your choice. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. See you for the next one. Goodbye.